I think that it was a last trial of desperate men to run away from the drone, or at least to prevent the drone from taking footage of himself, because he believed that it might help him in a way. But I think that deep in his heart, he knew that these are his last moments. And I think that it is more a tragedy for the entire Palestinian people, and mainly for the Gazans, because he brought on their heads a catastrophe which is even bigger than the catastrophe, the Nakba of 1948. Actually, he caused the total destruction of the Gaza Strip, and I think that he was not only deserved to this death, but I think that it would have been better if it was even earlier. But I think that what is really pathetic is the idea that beside his corpse, the IDF soldiers found passport and UNRWA identification card, and a lot of money. And he was in Tel Sultan area, which is just on the Philadelphia corridor, the border between Israel and Egypt. And we know that there are still some tunnels that we have not discovered yet. So what is pathetic is that this leader that brought such a destruction on the heads of his people eventually decided to run away. Okay, they can say whatever they want, that he was with a military vest and with a rifle and with a gun and with grenades, but eventually he was in his way out of the Gaza Strip, and he was running away. And the idea that he, as not only the leader of Hamas in the Gaza Strip, but as the leader of the entire organization, because he was elected 70 days ago, 72 days ago, he was elected as the head of the political bureau, which is the highest position, okay, of Hamas leader. And at the end of the day, he caused such a war, and he runs away from this war in order to escape, in order to save his own life. So this is pathetic, and this is also very tragic for the Palestinian people. And I think that this is also, I would say, a very significant moment in this war, and a very significant moment for the future of Hamas organization, because nobody will be able to enter to the shoes of Yahya Sinwar. In a sense, it's very similar to what we knew in 1982 with Shkaki, the leader of the Palestinian Islamic Jihad that was targeted in Malta, and it took more than 10 years to the organization to recover, to reconstitute itself. And sometimes there are organizations that the leader is the focal point, or the most crucial center of gravity of the organization. And I think that this is the situation with regard to Hamas in the Gaza Strip. And I think that those who were left outside the Gaza Strip, and I'm talking about Khaled Mashal, Khalil al-Haya, Osama Hamdan, and some others, they will not be able to enter to his shoes, mainly with regard to the Gaza Strip. But generally speaking, I think that it is a very crucial moment for Hamas as a semi-entity, a semi-state entity, and the terror organization. And I hope that this will be a turning point in the entire war, and not only in the Gaza Strip, but in the entire region. I cannot tell you a lot about this brutality because I really don't know. He was in the shadow. Okay, he's not. Although he was the one who commanded the operation of the kidnapping of Gilad Shalit in 2006. and he was responsible for holding him in captivity for 5 years, and he was responsible for all the tunnels infrastructure building project in the Gaza Strip, and he was the commander of Khan Yunis Brigade. He is an important military figure, but we don't know a lot about his character. But I don't think that it is really matter, because even if he will be elected to replace his brother, okay, he doesn't have the authority, the charisma, the position that his brother used to have. I don't think that he is able to influence the external leadership of Hamas, and I doubt if he's able even to command Hamas or what is left from Hamas in the Gaza Strip. Hamas now is in a very chaotic situation. They lost almost all of their political and military senior figures. They lost their ability of command and control. They lost their ability as an organized military formation. They have very marginal capacities that were left. From time to time, they launch a rocket here and there, and they turn to guerrilla and terror warfare against the IDF forces in the Gaza Strip, but they are not doing it in a very high level of success. So actually, Hamas is almost eliminated. Now we have to accomplish the mission in the northern part of the Gaza Strip, around the city of Gaza, because this is the last center of gravity, which is also very symbolic, that was left. And then some accomplishments in the refugee camps in the center of the Gaza Strip, El Burej, El Maghazi, Deir al-Balah, Nuseirat area, and then Hamas is finished, and the Gaza Strip will be cleaned from Hamas. It doesn't mean that we will reach to the last terrorist or to the last RPG, but Hamas will not have any capabilities to create a very severe security threat, and Israel will have a very strong holding and capture from the intelligence point of view and from the operational point of view on the Gaza Strip, and will be able, the IDF will be able to mow the grass on a constant manner, okay? Whenever we will have an indication that they are trying to regroup themselves, then we will enter the Gaza Strip and we will mow the grass, exactly as we are doing in the West Bank, in the refugee camps. We don't have to remain there in the refugee camps in the West Bank. We have to have the good intelligence to enter in, to mow the grass, and to go out. And this is exactly what we are going to do in the Gaza Strip. But I think that all the infrastructure, all the terror infrastructure that we used to know in the Gaza Strip will not be there anymore, and it will be even much weaker than the terror infrastructure in the West Bank. We must not slow it down, because we have to continue smashing Hezbollah. Here, the objective of the war is not to eliminate the organization. Okay, here the objective of the war is to bring back the citizens of the north to their homes, to their communities. But in order to do that, we have to assure that all the strip between the recognized international border in the south and the Litani River in the north will be clean from any Hezbollah military presence. And this is exactly what we are doing there. There we are cleaning the entire area. Unfortunately, most of the villages there and the towns are Shiite villages and towns, and all the population is fully supporting Hezbollah. And Hezbollah actually used all the civilian facilities, be it residential houses, clinics, schools, mosques, and even cemeteries, exactly as we saw it in the Gaza Strip. They use it for terror purposes, and in each day we find there unbelievable quantities of very high quality weapons. Most of it was, of course, supplied by Iran, and everything was targeted towards the villages, the kibbutzim, and the towns in the north, and even further than that. And in addition to the cleaning of this strip, we have to continue destroying the strategic capacities of Hezbollah, which are the mid and the long-term, the long-range missiles, the accurate missiles that they have, and some other sophisticated and advanced weapons that they keep, in order to minimize, to decrease the level of the threat, and in order to enable the IDF to continue hitting Hezbollah as long as we are not reaching to the full realization of the UN Security Council Resolution 1559 from 2004, which says that Hezbollah and all the other armed militias in Lebanon should be disarmed. And this is our purpose, and we have to build our capacity to reach to this stage, be it by diplomatic political agreement with the state of Lebanon and with the support of the international community, or be it with continuing military attacks on the capacities of Hezbollah. I hope that what we saw yesterday in the Gaza Strip, I mean the targeting, the killing of Yahya Sinwar, will be a turning point not only in the Gaza Strip but the entire region. And I think that this event will enable Israel, the United States, and the Arab partners here in the region to actually accomplish the changing process of the entire regional system, what Israel actually began doing from October 7th. In the strategic language, this is a change of a second order, which means changing the entire existing system in comparison to a change of a first order, which is a change inside the existing system. Now, until October 7th, Israel played according to the rules, the equations that the other players set, be it Hamas, Hezbollah, or Iran, and Israel tried to adjust itself and to retaliate and to operate inside the existing system. Now, Israel, at least since October 7th, decided to move to another phase and to create strategically the change of a second order, which means the change of the entire regional system. And in order to do that, you have to weaken dramatically Iran, which is the head of the snake, the head of the octopus, you name it, okay? And the strength of Iran is based on two columns. The first one is all the proxies that they built and provided and guided and financed during more than 2 decades, where Hezbollah and Hamas are the most crucial, the most substantial components of this axis. And the other pillar is the nuclear capabilities that they are trying to reach to. Without these two legs, without these two columns, Iran is very weak. Now, Israel weakened dramatically I would say the spearhead, okay, of the proxy system that Iran built, which are Hezbollah and Hamas. And I think that Israel is capable, and it will be much better if the United States, Britain, and some other countries will join Israel to eliminate the nuclear infrastructure of Iran, be it by a new diplomatic agreement that will be much more serious than the first JCPOA, or by a military attack. Iran is very vulnerable, much more vulnerable than Israel. Iran is not capable to defend itself like Israel is capable to defend itself. Iran doesn't have a coalition, international regional coalition, that helps Israel to defend itself. Iran has the Russians and the Chinese. The Chinese will not intervene militarily. The Russian capabilities to intervene or to help Iran militarily are very limited, and Iran doesn't have the defense capacities that Israel has, and Iran doesn't have the attack capacities that Israel has. And therefore, Iran is very vulnerable. And I think that this is an opportunity now when Iran is much more deterred, much more confused strategically, losing its major assets. This is the time to create the regional change.